Okay, today we are going to just start understanding percents. And basically what you need to know about a percent, when you see the per, the PER, that really means you're going to be dividing by 100. And you'd use a fraction bar. Per 100 means out of 100. So the part would be the numerator. The whole amount in this case would be your out of 100, and it would be the denominator. And you want to always label your work. So let's look at the first problem. It says write 93 over 100, or 93 hundredths, or 93 per 100 as a percentage. Well, this is easy because it's already out of 100. So it is already out of 100, and this will be an easy one to do because it would just be 93%. So you'd have your 93%, and that would be your answer. Now, let's go to the next type of problem. Now they're giving you a percent. They said write 27% as a fraction. There is no need to simplify your answer. Well, if it says 27%, then if we look, that means 27%, 27 per 100, 27 out of 100. So we'd have 27 over 100, and then that would mean that would be your fraction. And they said there's no need to simplify, so we don't. Next type of problem is looking at a grid that is cut into 100 squares of equal size. They said what percent of the figure is shaded. Well, you could do this a couple of ways. You could just take your pencil and add all of these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. The other thing you could do is if you wanted to break this up into shapes that you are familiar with and knowing that you can find the area, let's take a look at this one. If I went and had this as the area, I could see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 5. So we would know that the area of that would be 30 squares. So you'd have 30 squares. Then you'd take a look at the bottom part, and you could do the same thing. You could just count. It's 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you have your 3 times 4, which would give you your 12 squares. And that would be the area of this bottom portion. And to find the total area that's shaded, you would add them. 30 plus 12 would give you 42. Therefore, your answer would be 42%. Now, the next type of problem they're looking at is representing benchmark percentages on a grid. Here's the grid. They're telling you it's divided into 20 equal parts. They want you to shade 30% of the figure. Well, the first thing that you've got to realize is that the whole thing is going to be 100%. So if it's 100% and it is divided into 20 equal parts, we could say we could have 100, and we could divide that by 20. And 100 divided by 20 would give us 5, which would mean that each one of these would be 5%. Each one would be 5%. So if that's true that each one of these would be 5%, we could look 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That's half of it, 50. And then the other half would be the other 50. So if you shade 30% of these, you would be looking at each one and you'd say 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, 30%. Therefore, you would be shading in this entire area, and that would be a correct answer. Now, just so you don't confuse things, let's take a look if we had another shape here. If it were only cut into 5 equal pieces, the whole thing would be 100%, but now in this case, you'd be taking your 100 and you would divide it by 5, and that means that each one of these would be 20%. So if they asked you to shade 40%, then that means that you would take your highlighter, that would be your 20, and that would be your 40. And that is it.